Hi, this is Karen with Karen's Cards and More, and today I want to show you how to make this really cute card featuring the Flowering Field Suite, and I kind of call this my country garden of tulips, and the reason I say that is this bicycle. I've seen people put those, decorate old bikes and put baskets of flowers in the basket and put these in their flower gardens, and it looks so cute and so whimsical and country. And so that was what my inspiration was for this card today. So we're going to get started with what we need for this card. And we're going to start with a basic white card base that is 8.5 by 5.5, scored in the middle at 4 1/4. And then we're going to have a piece of Poppy Parade that is 5 1/4 by 4. We're going to have a piece of basic white that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then we're going to have another piece of Poppy Parade. And this one is 3 by 2 1/4. And then a basic white that is 2 3/4 by 2. And then we're going to have a strip of black that is 1 inch by, it needs to be at least, it needs to be wider than 3 3/4 because it needs to be wider than your white piece because it's going to tuck around. So any measurement that is greater than the 3 3/4, I left about 1/2 inch on each side, so I did mine 4 3/4 so that I knew that it would tuck. So however you want to cut it. Then we're going to use some designer series paper, and these are 1 inch by 3, and you're going to need 3 of those. And then let me show you the stamp sets and the die sets that we're going to be using. The stamp set for the sentiment, I wanted a thinking of you card, and so I wanted something that would fit down here. So I pulled out my Peaceful Moments set. This is a set that's all different types of greetings, and I like this thinking of you with all my heart. So that's what I pulled out for the greeting on here. And then the only other thing that we're going to use is we're going to use the die cut from Tulip Fields. There's 2 die cuts that we're going to use. We're going to use the bicycle, and then we're going to use this little tulip die. And I cut one of these out of Poppy Parade and one of these out of Petal Pink, and I'll show you those. And we're just going to cut some of the tulips off and use them in our basket. So I did 1 strip of each. I did 1 card already. I'll get at least 1 more and probably have enough for at least 1, maybe 2 more after that. So that's the only dies that we're going to use. And when you die cut, what I did with the bicycle, rather than try to put glue on the back of this, I ran it through with an adhesive sheet attached to the back of my basic black piece. And so after it's die cut, they're sticky already on the back of this. So I don't have to worry about trying to put glue on the back. You could run it through just out of a piece of basic black and put the glue on the back of the bike and glue it down. I just used adhesive sheets on the back to make it stick easy. Okay. All right, let's get started. And the first thing we're going to do, I wanted Poppy Parade gems, but I didn't have any. They don't have any that you can order even. So I pulled out my basic jewels, and I'm going to use 2 of these larger ones. So the first thing I did was cut off a piece of plastic that had 2 of the gems on it. So I just cut it off. So there's my 2 gems. And I want to start with this because I want to give this time to dry so we're not handling it and get ink on our fingers, because then we'll have ink all over our card. So I'm going to put this white scrap paper underneath, and I'm going to bring in my Poppy Parade. My ink pad. And all I did for this, I just turned it over so that the gems were face down, and I just put it on top of my ink pad and pressed down. And then I just used a dauber just to press that in the ink so I could get ink all around it. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers to pick it up and look at it. And I've got good coverage on my gems. Looks pretty good. Might could use a little more. So what I'm going to do to make sure I get it on the sides, I'm just going to ink this up and just really just trying to get it on the sides and make sure that it's all the way on there so that I don't have any white showing. Okay. And that's all there is to that. And I'm going to set this aside and let it dry while we're working on the rest of the cards. That way, by the time that we're ready to attach these to the card, they'll be dry. Okay? So let's go ahead with putting the card together. We're going to start with our little pieces. And we're going to go ahead and attach the white piece to the Poppy Parade. And I'm just going to use some Stampin' Seal for this. Just putting it around all corners. I'm going to set the finished card aside. And I'm just going to center this. Like that. And then we could go ahead and build our bicycle on this because that's all there is to this piece, or we can build the bicycle later. It really doesn't matter the order that you do these. So let's go ahead and do our bike. So I'm going to just kind of get an idea of where I want my bike. And I'm going to go ahead and put down, I'm going to press down everything but the basket. I didn't press down the basket. I want that to be, let me get my take your pick tool. I want that to be loose right there at the top because I want to be able to tuck my tulips down behind it. So I'm going to start, let me bring in my liquid glue because we're going to need that. I'm going to start with the petal pink ones, and I'm just going to cut 2 of the tulips off. And I mean, there's no magic right or wrong number. You could do more, you could do less. And I'm going to bring back in, I'm going to wipe my tweezers off so I don't get any Poppy Parade. And I'm going to pick this back up. I found that it was easier to use my tweezers than to try to use my fingers. And so I'm just looking at it to see if I need to trim a little bit off where I cut it. So I'm just going to trim a little bit there. If you have small fingers, you can do this without the tweezers. Okay. And then I'm going to take my liquid adhesive and just put a little bit on the back. And I'm just going to lift that basket up. I'll turn this sideways so I can get to it. So I'm lifting the basket up just so I can put these tulips underneath. just kind of holding that, pushing that down a little to see what it looks like. Now I'm going to take a couple of the Poppy Parade tulips. And I just kept going till I built my little basket of tulips the way I wanted them. And again, I'm just using the tweezers because that's what's easier for me to be able to put them where I want them instead of trying to use my fingers. So I'm going to, and I had to keep moving this around just to figure out, depending on how I was holding my tweezers, how to get this in there the best. And I'm just going to lift this up. Try to move my hand so you can see. And I'm just going to put that down. Okay. And then you can manipulate your basket a little bit to get the flowers where you want them. And another reason for using the liquid glue is you can move these around. You have a little time to move them around. And that looks pretty good. So I'm just pressing the bottom of my basket down, and I'm just going to keep building on top. So I'm going to come in with 2 more of the petal pink. Okay. And you could use as many tulips as you want or as few as you want. It's up to you. So now I'm just trying to build on top of that. Just like that. And I'm just going to do 1 more of the Poppy Parade. Actually, I mean a set of 2. Again, I'm just trimming these off. I'm going to put the liquid glue on the back. And I just want these to be at the top of the basket. Just to look, so it looks like we've got a basket full of the tulips. And that's all we're going to do for that. So then, let's start building the rest of the card. I'm going to bring in the basic white piece, and we're going to go ahead and put our strips on. So you want to think about how you want them organized, and whichever one is going to be your centerpiece, I always like to put that down first because it helps me with the spacing. So I'm just going to use liquid glue so that I have time to move it a little if I need to. And so all I'm doing with this first one is I want to get it in the center of my card. I want to just kind of look to both sides, and I want to work on getting this one straight. I'm just moving it a little, and then I can come in and put these beside it and make sure that I put them in the center of the space that's left. Okay, so I'm just going to put glue on these other 2 pieces and go ahead and attach them. I just really like the whimsical look with the bicycle. I think that's what I was really excited about when I came up with this card. Okay, so that's got that one in. 1 more strip. And it gives you a way to use a few of your strips. Okay. Again, I'm just going to center this in the space that's left. Just like that. And everything else that I'm doing, I'm going to do with the Stampin' Seal. That's all I'm going to do with the liquid glue. So now we want to go ahead and stamp this. This is our only stamping for this project, and that's just the greeting. So I'm just using black Memento ink, and I'm just going to ink this up. Make sure I'm on screen so that you can see what I'm doing. Make sure I got it good and inked because I want a good image. And then I'm just going to, and I want to keep it down kind of low because I still got my strip to go in here. So I'm just going to press that down, just like that. And we're done with that. Okay, the next thing we want to do is we want to add our black piece across there. So I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal in the middle, just in the middle of the strip. And I'm going to figure out where I want this. And just kind of put this, line this up. And I'm really just using this to cover the bottom of my designer series paper. And then I'm just going to fold these to the back. And put some Stampin' Seal if I need to. And then I'm going to just put Stampin' Seal on the back of this to attach it to our Poppy Parade piece. I'm just going to center this up. Just like that. And then I'm going to add Stampin' Seal to the back of this. And of course it runs out in the middle of a video, so I'm just going to finish with the liquid glue since I have it here rather than taking the time to change that out. I'm just going to center this on the basic white piece. We can go ahead and close this up. I've got a corner that's coming up where I didn't get the glue, so I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive there. Okay, now we're ready to add this piece. We're just going to add it like that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive. Let's put it on the black piece. That way we know that we're not getting it where we don't want it. I'm just kind of eyeballing that to try to center it from side to side. And I'm just pressing down. Just like that. And then I'm going to come in with our little pieces that we colored at the beginning. I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool and put those on either side. You could color these instead of using your ink pad. You could also use, if you have the Poppy Parade Stampin' Blends or the Stampin' Write markers, either one. You could color them with that. Either any of those options would work, whatever you have. And you can color those gems either way. You can also color your ribbons, by the way. If you didn't know that, you can color ribbon too. So there we have our card. Our card is done. Here's the one from before, and here's the one that we made together in the video. You can see that the basket of flowers looks a little different, and I would guess it's going to look different every time that you do it, because it's just going to be how you put it together at the time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you will give it a try, and I will craft with you again soon. Before I go, though, I do want to mention the end of February will be, the celebration will be over. And celebration, if you don't know what that is, I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! And if you order $50 or more during the month of February, we still have a few weeks left, you get to get something for free from Celebration. And there's some really cool designer series papers, some stamp sets. I've done several videos with the Friendly Hello designer series paper and stamp set. That's in here. Just a lot of really cool stuff that you can get for free if you like rainbows. Let me mention this as well. If you love Stampin' Up! And you want to be a demonstrator, whether you want to just be a crafting demonstrator or if you want to do classes and teach others, this month is a great time to join while Celebration's still on. Normally, the starter kit is $99 and you get to select $125 worth of product for your $99. Well, during Celebration, you also get 2 stamp sets of your choice. So you get the $125 worth of product for $99 plus you get 2 stamp sets of your choice. So it's a little incentive to join during Celebration. I'd love to have you on my team. Be sure and check out my Facebook group, my Facebook page, Karen's Cards and More. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, just hit the subscribe and hit the notification bell, and you will be notified every time I upload a video. Hope you have a great day, and I will be back to craft with you again soon.